Hey guys, quick but important updates about the new stimulus plan part 2 as well as PPP funding. So I know a lot of you guys have received your $1,200 stimulus check already, but I also know that some of you guys have not, and you're either one, waiting patiently, or two, you're checking the status of your payment on the new IRS portal. However, a lot of you are getting this error message that says your payment status is not available, or you're finding out that the IRS doesn't have your direct deposit info, or many other things. Well guys, the IRS updates that website once per day, so they're saying to just keep checking back and seeing if your payment status becomes available. Now there definitely are some glitches with the website, so hopefully they get that sorted out soon. Well, with all this chaos with the first stimulus check, guess what? They're actually working on creating a second stimulus check for Americans. This bill, known as the Emergency Money for the People's Act, would issue monthly payments of $2,000 to individuals and families for 6 months, or until the US economy recovers from the COVID-19 pandemic. So yeah, $2,000 a month. Yeah, that's a lot, and you heard it right. This is a huge jump from the current stimulus plan. The current stimulus plan actually funnels a majority of the $2.2 trillion of funding into small businesses and larger corporations. It seems like now they are leaning more towards giving the money directly to the people instead of to the businesses who employ them, and having that money trickle down that way. Even if it doesn't pass in this original proposed state, I think this is a hint that we will be seeing a bill that's a lot more generous than we could ever have imagined. A bill that focuses more on the people rather than the businesses. Now, I'm not saying that focusing on funding businesses is bad, because it definitely is good. Businesses employ a majority of Americans, and plus we don't want businesses to shut down, because after this pandemic, then there'd be a lot of trouble. Let's look at some of the other countries in the world and what their stimulus plans are right now. For example, in the UK, they're actually paying workers 80% of their salary. In Canada, they are paying people $2,000 per month. In Australia, they're paying people $1,000 per month. And in South Korea, they are paying workers 70% of their salary. However, you have to keep in mind that this $1,200 stimulus check is not the only thing the government is doing for us. The US has greatly expanded the unemployment coverage, as well as the amount of money that they are giving out for unemployment benefits. And they have a more pass-through approach to saving the economy, which means just paying businesses who employ people first, and then the money will go from those businesses to the employees that work for them. So yeah, if you compare this new proposed $2,000 a month plan to the plans of some other countries, it doesn't seem as crazy. It was introduced by Democrats Ro Khanna of California and Tim Ryan of Ohio, who both said that the current stimulus plan is just not going to cut it. Here is what Ro Khanna said. Americans need sustained cash infusions for the duration of this crisis in order to come out on the other side alive, healthy, and ready to get back to work. So now, who is going to qualify for this new proposed $2,000 a month stimulus check? It's a lot less stringent than the current plan, which basically means that every American adult that's aged 16 or older and makes under $130,000 per year would receive the full $2,000 per month. Married couples that earn under $260,000 per year would receive the full $4,000 per month. For families that actually have children, they will receive $500 per child, and you can actually receive funds for up to 3 children. Those that don't have any earnings, are unemployed, or are currently unemployed, are actually also eligible. And also what they are saying is, if you didn't qualify based on this income requirement for 2018 or 2019, you can actually submit 2 months of consecutive paychecks for 2020 to verify that your current income is below that limit. So yeah, it just basically seems that they're trying to make this money as easy as possible to get into the hands of people. Oh, and another thing, they're also trying to expand the program to millions and millions of more Americans, people that might not have been eligible in the current stimulus plan, such as college students and adults with disabilities who are still claimed as dependents. This money is not considered income, and therefore it is not taxed. It also doesn't affect the eligibility for state or federal income-based assistance programs. And how are they going to get all this money out to people? Well, they're saying they're going to do direct deposit, prepaid debit card, and even mobile money platforms like PayPal and Venmo. I'm not sure how they're going to implement all these different payment strategies if they can't even get down the mailing of checks and direct deposit, which is going on right now. But we will definitely see if something like this passes, how they expand the payment options. In terms of the stimulus plan as a whole, if this original plan does pass, this would definitely and severely affect the amount of funding that the government can actually give businesses. And it would also affect the amount of PPP loans that they are able to give out. So why do they propose the stimulus plan? Well, they are assuming that this virus will still be around for quite some while and it will have long-lasting effects on the income generation for Americans as well as the economy as a whole. This plan would probably save the people that aren't able to pay their mortgages and bills, but I do think that since the income requirements are so broad and tons of Americans would be eligible, the money would go into the hands of lots of people that don't actually need the money. So yeah, I just don't know if it's the most efficient way to stimulate the economy, and it can also create a huge amount of inflation for the American dollar. Okay, now let's get on to the Paycheck Protection Program news. So as you've probably heard, PPP has been extremely popular, in fact, too popular. And in 14 days, they have processed 14 years of loans. The full $349 billion that was allocated to this fund has already run out completely. The good news is that if you've already submitted your initial application and then your lender submitted it to the Small Business Administration and they authorized it, you will still get the money. As long as you provide the docs and sign in a timely manner, your loan will close. Now, if you haven't been approved yet, you are out of luck for now. But don't worry, because it seems like the government is going to look for another round of funding. I've heard reports that they want to add an additional $250 billion into this program. So while not quite as high as the initial round of $349 billion, this would save a lot of businesses who got their apps in too late and who haven't actually received their loan authorization. So yeah, if your loan right now is still in progress or the SBA hasn't approved it, then you will have to wait until further funds are released for you to actually get funded on this loan. They're actually doing talks yesterday and negotiating on this whole thing, but they did not come to an agreement, so it will likely come in the next week. I'll definitely make an updated video when that funding does come out. So for now, what's plan B in case you need the money right now? One thing you can do is take out Main Street loans, which carry a higher interest rate of between 2.5 to 4% compared to the 1% of the PPP loans. These Main Street loans also have a 4-year payment term, and they are also a minimum of $1 million per loan. And of course, the worst part is that they are not forgiven. So obviously, if you can wait for the additional funding and for your PPP loan to actually go through, I definitely recommend doing that. But if you're on your last dollar and you need that money right now, then maybe that's something you can look into. Okay, those are all the updates I have for today. As always, thank you so much for checking in and relying on me for your updated information about this whole stimulus plan. Send this video to a friend if you think this video will be helpful for them. And also make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more updates and videos just like this. Your support means a ton and I really appreciate it. Okay, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.